Right, let's move on to Manchester City then, shall we? Why were they so bad today, Stevie?
Do you know, Dan, every team, no matter how good they are, has a day when, as an attacking force, just do every single thing wrong and come up against a good defence. It happens. And so if I'm Pep Guardiola, I can justify having a day like that because it happens to everybody. What I can't justify is, once again, defensively, an absolute shambles. We spoke 2 or 3 weeks ago about this, saying that, does he actually understand that defending's part of the game, and if you lose goals, you can't always win games? Well, we saw again today that clearly he does nothing on the training field as far as defending concerned. Mendy playing Aubameyang on, the two centre-backs too wide apart. Kyle Walker doesn't even know that Aubameyang's there on the first goal. I mean, just you could spend half an hour talking about the things that Manchester City do wrong defensively. So as far as attacking goes, it happens. But defensively, well, it happens, but it happens to them every time they step on the field. They look vulnerable. And
that is epitomised by your marks, Stevie. Benjamin Mendy getting 1, the centre-backs getting 5 apiece, Walker getting 4. In fact, nobody getting higher than a 6, and that's for Ederson.
Well, Ederson made a save from Aubameyang, that's why he got 6. But the rest won of the races. I've just told you that defensively a shambles, nothing happened in the middle of the park. De Bruyne was lucky to get a 4. This is the worst performance I've seen from him. I bet you if you look at the stats, he passed the ball to a red jersey more than he did a blue jersey today. And considering the praise that we give this guy and have given him, you know, how he's in the top 5 in the world and he could win the Premier League Player of the Year. You know, when you turn in a performance like that in a big game, then you deserve to get all the stick that you get, and he deserves every bit of it.
Don, Stevie said this is a one-off, but there were signs, weren't they? Second half against Bournemouth, Manchester City looked pretty terrible. They just didn't look at the races again today.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about them. It's hard to put a finger on why they're so poor, because we're talking about people like Kevin De Bruyne, who is one of the best midfield players in world football, and he had an absolute shocker today. Benjamin Mendy at left back when Angelino's out on loan at RB Leipzig. I'm not convinced in Mendy. I'm pretty sure Pep's not neither. When you look at the top end of the pitch, Raheem Sterling was poor for his standards today. You know, Jesus is trying to lead the line, and I'm not convinced that Man City can get where they want to be without Aguero. So he's missing until the start of next season through his injury and his operation. So they've got a real task on if they're going to convince anyone they can win the Premier League. So I don't know if it was a one-off. I've seen them against Southampton a couple of weeks back when they were absolutely brilliant but didn't get anything from the game. But they were just missing chances and Southampton were putting their bodies on the line. I didn't really see that today. You know, Arsenal had to put bodies on the line at times, but their defensive shape was excellent, where they had the 3 centre-halves, the 2 wing-backs really narrow. And for Man City, they just absolutely ran out of ideas.
And that's interesting, isn't it, Shaq? Because Pep Guardiola, put on this pedestal as one of the best coaches in the world. Second half, ball comes in, headed out. Ball comes in, headed out. Try and break it down, long shot from Laporte. We didn't really see anything particularly inventive. Is that harsh because Arsenal would put so many people behind the ball, or should Pep have done something different?
Listen, at the same time, Arsenal have to get praise for what they did defensively and how they set their stroll out and how disciplined they were. But you're right. You expect more from City, certainly in terms of their own creativity. And as much as I was criticizing Arteta not so long ago, I think Pep Guardiola didn't do an awful lot in terms of changing things up and trying to break things down. When have we? Well, we've been able to say for some time that Jesus is not really a direct replacement for Kun Aguero. That was on display again. But when in the past have we been able to say that Sterling, Mahrez, and De Bruyne all had as poor days as they did? It's just something you don't normally see. And in all honesty, in defense of Guardiola, who I was criticizing a moment ago, how do you cater for that? And what do you do to adjust when those three players are having the days that they have? But Stevie's also right in pointing out how poor they are defensively. Look at Kyle Walker's body shape when the ball comes over for the cross for the first goal. That's defending 101. And then in the second goal, first of all, you're playing this ridiculously high line against a team with Aubameyang in it. Mendy's dropping deep. Rodrigo is in no position at all to cover Laporte for that ball from Tierney. That's the coach's job, to work those things out in the training ground beforehand. So as much as we may offer Guardiola an excuse in terms of the performances from the front four, I think there's a lot that he should have done better on the training ground, and maybe changes he could have made in freshening things up and giving City some more ideas on the day.
Stevie?
I mean, if we're talking about City as a defensive unit, I don't really. I mean, I'm criticising Pep because I don't see any change in it. But you know what? The players that he has can't defend. You know, you're talking about Mendy there. That first goal, any proper fullback who watched this game will tell you that that's Mendy's fault, because as a fullback, your job, first and foremost, is to stop the cross. And Mendy has no idea how to do that. He doesn't realise he has to get closer. And I don't think there's anybody else on City staff defensively that he could try. I think he's tried everything. So he's stuck with what he's got defensively.
Real Madrid would have enjoyed that when they done.
Oh, they'd be absolutely loving that, and I think it'll prove to everyone that this City side, and we've seen it, you know, at the start of the season, they're not invincible. They've lost that little bit of aura that they had last season, where, you know, when you play Man City, you do well to take a point. If you play Man City, you do well not to get beat 4-5s, and Watford's been spanked by an 8. I look at City now, and I think other Premier League teams and teams like Real Madrid with their firepower, and they will say, we'll get chances. Now, City on any given day could beat anyone 5-4. They're that type of side. But Stevie and Shaka are right. They're so vulnerable at the back. You can't win, I would imagine, the Champions League if you're going to offer 2 goals away to the very best teams. You know, it's nigh and impossible. They've got to tighten up. And, you know, when you look at the individuals, people like John Stones, I know he's had his injuries, but he's not really a defender. He's a ball-playing centre-half. Otamendi's always had a mistake in him. You know, that's why Fernandinho had to go and play centre-half. So if you're Real Madrid and you're thinking, if we can get at this City side, if you don't leave ourselves too open ourselves, because City, you know, are capable of scoring goals, even though they're behind in the tie, you'd still lean towards Real Madrid.
So Manchester United and Chelsea.
Dan, you know something?
Go on,
Dan,
Steve.
you know something else?
Go on.
Dan, you know when Ederson signed for Manchester City? For a good 12 months, 18 months, every time somebody went through on him, I thought he was going to save everything. He's now in a position where I don't remember him making saves.
Oh, he made a save today early on, Steve, didn't he? He denied Aubameyang early on.
Hold on. Whoa. Cool your jets. The Aubameyang shot is actually straight at him. The other two, he never got anywhere close to them. But as I said, I'm watching it, and that's the first thing that came to my head. You know, Don said that when Aubameyang was going through, he 100% fancied him. I used to be the other way. I used to be 100% fancy. Ederson's going to stop this. Kind of how I feel about Alisson right now. So, just another one. The guy who saved them when he came to the club for any mistakes isn't doing it either.
Shaka, Stevie's saying Ederson not even a top 10 goalkeeper these days. Do you agree?
Oh man, I am so glad. I'm so glad
like
to
Dan.
hear exactly what Stevie said. But listen, Ederson's still one of the best in the league, no question. But I do understand what Stevie is saying, and it just goes to show. And Ederson's not the first time, and City not the first team we've said it about. You can't just go about your business relying on your goalkeeper to save you every single day. Eventually, that's going to catch up with you. And that's what you're seeing now.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.